Hello and welcome back to the Planet Protectors live stream. And this episode is special, not in the way that there is a special event, but this is episode 15 of season 2 of the Planet Protectors live stream. So that brings the live stream total episodes up to 24 episodes. Tonight we talk about urban wildlife. But before we talk about that, let's go to our weekly riddle. Here it is. People buy me to eat, but never eat me. What am I? The answer will be revealed at the end of the show, and that is when you can submit your answers. Wildlife is all around us. Whether you live in a city, town, or the most rural area in the world, there is wildlife. Urban wildlife may not be as exciting as ocean or rainforest wildlife, but it's still pretty cool. We usually see local wildlife as a pest or an issue, but they all have crazy features, and they're all pretty cool. Tonight I'm going to talk to you about some of these guys and about some of the top urban wildlife in Canada. Some of these animals are recommended by viewers like you, so thank you for recommending them. Alright, our first animal is feisty, has a very noticeable black mask, and it is the trash panda. Yeah, it's the raccoon. Trash panda is just another name for it. The raccoon. These mammals have a surprisingly short lifespan of 2 to 3 years living in the wild. When they're not eating garbage out of your bin, they're pretty cute. The raccoon capital of the world, or Toronto, Canada, has roughly 100,000 raccoons in just Toronto. So that means there are roughly 100 raccoons per square kilometer in Toronto. Wow. Raccoons have adapted to urban life, so they don't always eat what they usually would in the wild. Raccoons feast on insects, eggs, fruit, and vegetables, and now garbage. Raccoons also sleep in hollowed out trees, logs, attics, and sheds. Are they in your attics? Maybe. All in all, raccoons are very cool creatures, but we don't always acknowledge them or think of them in a positive way. Our next animal is one that you would find in cities, but more on the suburban side of things. This next animal is the red fox. These mammals weigh between 6.5 and 24 pounds and have a lifespan of 2 to 4 years. Here's another fact. Male foxes are called a dog fox, and females are called vixens. Foxes are also the most widespread animals that eat meat on the planet. The most widespread, so all over the planet, they are the most widespread that eat meat. I would have thought that's humans. I didn't get an exact location on these foxes where they're most likely to be, but they are scattered across North America. Fortunately, these animals are listed as least concerned, so they're the furthest possible away from being endangered. The last animal that I'm going to talk to you about tonight is, it's probably just more annoying to you. It's definitely a staple of New York City. It is the pigeon. Pigeons might seem like another animal and something way too common to be interesting, but that's where you're wrong. Here's a fact. Pigeons have roughly 10,000 feathers. On that little body, 10,000 feathers. Pigeons can also find their nests from over 2,000 kilometers away. So here's the big question. Why are there so many pigeons in cities? Well, to answer that actually humans brought them there. At least 5,000 years ago, humans of the ancient Middle Eastern civilization were putting houses out for pigeons. Pigeons were very useful at the time. And pigeons also prefer to build their nests on a building and not trees, shrubs, or any other plants. They also like the cement and stone, so that's why they're in cities. They are definitely a weird type of bird, though. Pretty weird. Alright, So that concludes our animals. Now we are going to go to our first Did You Know of 2021. Did you know starting your cars in the winter before you get in to warm them up is bad for the environment? People idle their cars so it's warm inside when they're in there, and also because they think that their car won't run as smoothly if they didn't do that. Well, the smoothly thing is a myth, and, well, the heating thing, that's just really your preference there. It really doesn't take that long to heat the car, and I took a survey, and the majority of people idle their cars in the winter so it's warm, then they go in. So why is this bad? Why is it bad? Well, cars in winter are 12% less fuel efficient, so you're not even in the car and you're wasting more gas than you would be driving in the summer. And it lets out more gas, which contributes to climate change, which isn't great. And that running smoothly thing is a myth. So, I mean, it's not the best thing. All right. Now on to our next segment, the eco part. All right, our first card is, and this is all random, this stuff. They were shuffled before this episode. Tea bags are often not biodegradable. So consider switching to loose tea leaves with a tea infuser. Okay, well, I don't drink tea. I've never really heard of this, but I always thought they're biodegradable. So loose tea leaves with a tea infuser. You can probably just look that up on the internet or Amazon. I'll probably have something like that. All right, next one. Avoid letting the water run when brushing your teeth or washing the dishes. Yes, this one is super important. So don't have the water running when you're brushing your teeth. That wastes tons of water, and honestly, you shouldn't be doing it while you're brushing your teeth because you're not even using that water. And washing the dishes, I guess you do want it to pool up, and then I guess when you're rinsing. So yeah, I guess turn it off at some points. All right, third one of today is, whenever you get takeout, good for COVID, make a note on the order to not include any cutlery or napkins. You have both those things at home. So cutlery, yes, because it's probably plastic, and also straws too. And napkins. Napkins are usually compostable, but I mean, depending on what the restaurant is, that'll have an effect. All right, this is going to be my last one of the evening. It is, even if you're not looking to go vegetarian, try having a meat-free dinner at least once a week. I did that tonight. Consuming less meat helps reduce carbon emissions and gives you a chance to be more creative with your cooking. This one pretty much just explained itself, but yes, it will help lower emissions, and it does give you a chance to be more creative with your cooking. There are a lot of meals you can do with meat, and there's a lot you can do without meat too. All right, that was today's EcoPot. Our last segment of the show tonight is Animal of the Week. This week's animal is one that lives in the ocean and is popular for its weird body. This week's Animal of the Week is a jellyfish! Jellyfish range all over the world and have been around for hundreds of millions of years. These creatures are invertebrates, so that means that they don't have a spine. Actually, jellyfish don't have much of anything. They don't have a brain. They usually don't have eyes. They don't have bones or blood either. Here's a fact that when I heard about it, I was in disbelief. Jellyfish are not actually fish. I know. This is because jellies don't have backbones, which would be a spine, like other fish do. The next fact is out of this world. A species of jellyfish, the immortal jellyfish, can revert its life cycle. So an adult jellyfish that is under stress can revert to a polyp. And if you paid attention to last week's live stream when we did something on coral reefs, coral is called polyp, and they are actually related, jellyfish and coral. So that's pretty cool. And like, they can go from an adult to a baby again. I just found that crazy. This is the only animal on the planet that can do something like this, that can revert to a younger one. All right, well, that was a very fun episode. From crazy facts of raccoons, jellyfish, foxes, and penguins, and a very necessary did you know, that was a pretty good episode 15. All right, you need an answer to the riddle now, so let's hear the riddle before you submit your answers. People buy me to eat, but never eat me. What am I? The answer is, drumroll please, a plate, but cutlery does work too. It does work. So make sure to check out the Planet Protectors podcast with all archived live streams from season 2. It is now streaming on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Google Podcast. That's it for me. Have a great rest of your evening, and hold on a sec. Before I end this, I feel like we didn't cover all of the urban wildlife that we needed to. I feel like there's a lot more. So let's make next week's episode part 2 to this episode. So next week, part 2, urban wildlife. Done. And if you have any urban wildlife that you would like featured in next week's episode, then email us at planetprotectorschallenges@gmail.com, or you can find that in the link in our bio of our Instagram page. It's also planetprotectorschallenges.weebly.com for our website. You can find our email and many more stuff there. Skunk? All right. Well, that may be one. All right. Have a great rest of your evening, and remember to stay eco. See you next week. Bye.